back we did get Amphi, which posted its July numbers, and we saw that the equity mutual fund saw an outflow of nearly 2,500 crores for the first time in about 4 years. But interestingly, it's also important to track what the top 3 mutual funds have done to their portfolios in terms of the key additions and deletions that have happened. Let me start off with SBI Mutual Fund, which now has equity assets worth more than 2 lakh crores. The top sector exposure that they have is towards the financials as well as energy space, while they have added significant positions in the month gone by from the healthcare and the energy space. As far as the largest sector sales are concerned, what they did was reduce significant positions from the consumer discretionary as well as the material space. The top 5 purchases or the largest buys that they have done include the likes of IOC, where they added about 4 crore shares, and the stock managed to advance more than 3% for the month of July. NHPC was the second big addition that they did, nearly 2 crore shares added to their portfolio, and the stock also managed to climb as much as 1.5%. From the large cap space, what they added next was Mahindra & Mahindra Financial, more than 1 crore shares that they have added, and the stock managed to advance as much as 27%. City Union Bank also, they added about 1 crore shares, and the stock remained largely flat for the month. But the key index name that they have added is Hdfc Standard Life, and that is primarily because of its inclusion in the Nifty 50 index, and that's the reason they would have had to adjust their index portfolios. So over there they added about 90 lakh shares, and the stock also advanced about 14%. As far as the largest sector sales or largest stock sales are concerned, you had Vedanta as well as SBI, which feature among the Nifty companies, along with some of the other large cap names like ICICI Pru. From the mid cap space, what they reduced from their portfolio was Lemon Tree as well as GSPL. Moving on to HDFC Mutual Fund, they have equity assets which are worth over 1.4 lakh crores. Their top sector exposure stands towards the financials as well as utility space. The largest sector buys that they had were from the financials as well as industrial space, and the largest sector sell-offs that they did were from the communications and the utilities basket. The top 5 buys that they had interestingly include Yes Bank, which goes out of which got included in the portfolio more than 16 crore shares, and the stock managed to more than half for itself in the previous month itself. Wipro was the large name that got included in the portfolio, and the stock also performed extremely well, nearly 30% return that it generated for the month of July itself, along with some other index names like Tech Mahindra and Sun Pharma, which also saw significant additions in the portfolio of HDFC Mutual Fund. Along with the non-index name that they added was JSPL, more than 50 lakh shares, and these stocks also managed to give double-digit return for the month of July itself. As far as stock sales are concerned, once again, Vodafone Idea features in this list, more than 1 crore shares that they have reduced from their portfolio, along with key index names like Reliance, Bharti Infratel, as well as BPCL, where they have reduced significant amount of positions. Moving on to the last one, which is ICICI Pru Mutual Fund. If we have a look at that one, they have equity assets which are about 1.4 lakh crores, and the top sector exposure stands towards the financials as well as the utility space. The largest sector buys that they did were only one, which was the energy space. The largest sector sales include communications as well as financials. The top 5 purchases that they did included Federal Bank from the mid-cap space, 1.4 crore shares added, and some of the other interesting names stood like SJVN, Arvind Fashion, I beg your pardon, as well as JM Financial. But the most interesting aspect that they did was added significant units of ICICI Pru Gold ETF, where it actually advanced about 9 to 10% for the month itself. As far as largest sector sales or largest stock sales are concerned, you had Vodafone Idea, which once again features in the list, nearly 6 crore shares that they have sold in the month gone by, along with JNK Bank also 1 crore shares. But interestingly, SBI and ITC also feature in this list, where they have reduced their positions by about 1 crore shares each, along with Motherson Sumi also, where they have reduced about 90 lakh shares for the month of July itself.